Hi there. Summer is the time of sun and fun. Cookouts and deck parties, poolside parties, campfires under the stars. Time for family vacations and leisure spent outdoors. In ancient herbalism, it's also the time of the small intestine and the heart, which happen to be paired organs. The corresponding cleanses for the summer months, spanning from June 21st to September 15th, are also fun, light, easy, and breezy. The cleanses highlight herbs and foods that cool and moisten when the sun is hot and the heat can burn off moisture. They also have an herbal and food focus on supporting both the heart and the small intestine. Knowing a little bit about your small intestine and your heart might inspire you to take several days during the summer months to give them a little love and lighten their burden. Let's start with the small intestine. After food passes from the duodenum into the jejunum, digested food is now available to pass into the blood vessels of the villi found in the wall of the small intestine through either diffusion or active transport. The small intestine is the site where most of the nutrients from digested food are absorbed to be sent to the liver for assimilation. The exceptions are iron and B12 folic acid. They're absorbed in the final part of the small intestine, and B vitamins are also absorbed in the large colon. Indeed, it's our small intestine and the colonic beneficial bacteria that are our primary immune response. Without a healthy structure and healthy peristalsis, otherwise known as the undulating movement of our colon, our beneficial bacteria cannot continue to reproduce and they become overwhelmed with toxins, pathogenic bacteria, waste, yeast, and other hitchhikers. The daily upkeep of our beneficial bacteria is of utmost importance, and some of you have started to hear the mainstream conversation about your microbiome and the importance of taking care of your gut health. Things can go wrong in the small intestine very easily. Apart from the well known colitis and inflammatory bowel disease, it doesn't have to be a disease for the small intestine to be in disarray. The delicate mucous membranes and microvilli that cover an area equal to the size of a football field require constant upkeep by beneficial bacteria and dietary fiber, which also plays a critical role in that environment. When the resident flora of the small intestine is in decline from poor eating habits, taking daily nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, introduction of pathogenic species, or the damage of the villi they live on, then we have a condition that now has probably many names, but best can be called hyperpermeability. It's otherwise known as leaky gut. The villi of the small intestine can fall into disrepair for many reasons. On the left, you see an electron microscopic image of healthy villi, and on the right is an image of the villi and basement membrane in disarray and erosion. Here are a few more images of the microvilli of the small intestine. These are the places where our beneficial bacteria live and reproduce, and it is where the sorting of the impure from the pure is done in order to determine what will go to the liver and what will stay in the intestines to be sent to the large colon for elimination. This is a much closer look at the microvilli that line the inside of our small intestine. Living in the mucosal membrane is an array of commensal flora. You'll see that in the green dye. Some of it's resident, meaning it belongs there and arose there. Some of it's transient, came in, will go out. And some of it's parasitic, it doesn't belong there, but has somehow made a home. Lactobacillus acidophilus is one of many, but one of our most aggressive bacteria. And thankfully, it's our common beneficial bacteria because it is so aggressive. It will, if it's healthy, kill invasions of foreign microbiology as aggressively as any other part of the immune system. Our beneficial bacteria have innate intelligence and can act immediately, where our acquired immunity takes time to react to new foreign germs and substances. Research is confirming what the ancient herbal physicians knew. All life and death starts and ends in the gut. And this is not relegated to just the galt. The galt is gut-associated lymphatic tissue, but has specific indications to the vast array of beneficial bacteria living within our bodies and the mucosal membranes that house those flora communities. In ancient herbal traditions, the small intestine and the heart are paired together. The small intestine is the hollow organ, right? It's a tube. And the heart is the solid organ. They are paired because of their inextricable relationship of sharing their chi, or their energy, right? Their electrons, the fluids, and the blood. If the small intestine is not able to do its job sufficiently, it has a resounding negative effect on the heart in all aspects, according to ancient herbal paradigms. Interestingly, many herbs that support the vibrant health of the small intestine also support the heart, and nature sees to it that these two delicate but crucial organs are assisted simultaneously through the herbs such as hawthorn and hibiscus and ganoderma. I'll explain the herb portion of this in the next class, but let's get some more inspiration for a summer cleanse. The heart. The average human heart weighs 11 ounces, but an extremely diseased heart can be up to 2 pounds. That's a lot for a human heart. On average, the heart beats 72 times a minute, 100,000 times a day. That's a lot. 2.5 billion times. This is on average, right? During a normal lifespan. And during an average lifetime, the heart will pump nearly 1.5 million barrels of blood through the body. When the body is at rest, it takes only 6 seconds for the blood to go from the heart to the lungs and back, only 8 seconds for it to go to the brain and back, and only 16 seconds for it to reach the toes and travel all the way to the heart, provided one has a healthy cardiovascular system, of course. In this image of the coronary artery system that feeds the heart muscle itself, the heart is enclosed in a double-walled sac called the pericardium. The human heart has 4 chambers, 2 atrium on top, 2 ventricles on the bottom. I love this image because this is just the vessels that surround the heart, that feed the heart. It's really interesting, isn't it? A kitchen faucet would need to be turned on all the way for at least 45 years to equal the amount of blood pumped by the heart in an average lifetime. About 5% of the total volume of blood supplies the heart, 15 to 20 goes to the brain and the central nervous system, 22% goes to the kidney. The heart is called the emperor. It's the center of it all. It's the most important organ according to ancient herbal traditions, even more than the brain. The major functions of the heart, according to traditional herbalism, is it controls the blood and the blood vessels, and it actually rules the mind. So you're probably thinking, how does that happen? The ruling of the mind is a function of what herbalists call spirit, or shen. It's when you're not living your destiny and you're not living from the center of your heart, your mind doesn't seem to think of good things, right? So there's a huge correlation between what you think about and the happiness, and contentedness, if you will, of your heart. The fluid of the heart is sweat, and the heart meridians open to the tongue. I guess that's why kissing also is a sign of love. The heart does the most physical work of any muscle during a lifetime. The power output of the heart ranges from 1 to 5 watts, while the quadricep can produce 100 watts for a few minutes. An output of 1 watt for 80 years is equal to 2.5 gigajoules. It's like so much energy. The heart of an average man beats about 70 times a minute, and a woman about 75 to 78 beats per minute. It depends also on the physical health of the individual. Prolonged lack of sleep can cause irregular jumping heartbeats called premature ventricular contractions, or PVCs. This might seem strange to you, but the heart also has an endocrine component to it. In 2005, a group of researchers at the University of Florida Cardiac Hormone Center in Tampa, Florida, discovered 6 hormones that are produced and secreted by the heart through protective adipose tissue. It's actually found in the pericardium around the heart. These particular adipokines inhibit different cancer cell lines in vitro: breast, colon, human lung cell. Kind of amazing that the heart can produce a hormone that would suppress a cancer cell line. In addition, this team of researchers also determined that 4 of the 6 known heart's hormones decrease human prostate cancer cells by 97%. So in essence, true love heals all. I really feel that way. In 2012, the Department of Medicine at Yale School of Medicine found that the adipokine secreted by the heart, again, the pericardium around the heart, had interesting ramifications. Adipose tissue is not only storage and not only protection, storage for energy, if you will, um, but it acts like an endocrine system, right? Adipokines are secreted by the fat cells. Usually, adipokines are pro inflammatory, except for the cardioprotective adipokine, adiponectin, which is secreted in inverse proportion to how much fat you have. Low levels of serum adiponectin are now appreciated as a risk factor in a variety of cardiovascular diseases, coronary artery disease, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension. In addition to heart manufacturing hormones that circulate in the blood and affect every cell in the body, there are receptor sites for every hormone we manufacture all over our heart muscle. That includes troublesome hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. In 2005, a Norway group of researchers determined that the heart, more specifically the valves of the heart, has the highest amount of receptor sites per cell of any other cell in the body for serotonin. This adaptation was most likely to ensure that the heart remains as stable as possible, even under duress and extreme stress, where serotonin may not be sufficiently manufactured by the body or serotonin is being upstaged by stress hormones. Oddly enough, because of this adaptation, our hearts, and especially the heart valves, are so sensitive to serotonin that getting too much serotonin can damage the valves. This can occur with low protein intake, high sugar intake over long periods of time, and it can happen in later years in life. There is a pattern of imbalance which herbalists look for. We call it too much joy or overexcitement injuring the heart. Could it be that the herbalists of old witnessed empirically what researchers are now proving about excess serotonin injuring the heart valves? We see this with recreational drugs, which flood the body in a spike of serotonin and also damage the heart. We see it with mania, that people who have mania, right, or bipolar, where their heart valves become weak because they have low serotonin and then extremely high, flooding high. We see it with drugs that increase serotonin and over increase serotonin, where the heart valves become weakened. So herbalists see that and have seen it empirically for a very long time. So equanimity is more important than joy, right? Equanimity, a sense of contentment, a sense of calm, versus being overexcited all the time. There are many protective and homeostatic processes around the heart. However, things can go wrong young or old. Atherosclerosis is the process where plaque is formed on the inside of blood vessels. This is a fairly complex process that involves the oxidation of LDL in addition to calcium deposition. When LDLs oxidize, the immune system identifies them as foreign substances and then attacks them. The white blood cells then adhere to the inside lining of the blood vessel to sequester the oxidized LDLs and keep them from circulating in the blood. The immune system uses proteins and calcium found circulating in the blood to wall off the damage. As this happens over time, the accumulations become hardened plaque. These plaques can, over time, cause the lumen of the blood vessel to become smaller, reducing blood flow. Excuse me. Furthermore, when platelets bounce off of these arterial plaques, they can become activated and begin a clotting process, which eventually forms a plug. When this happens, the tissue on the other side of the plug doesn't receive blood or oxygen, and bad things happen, right? When the heart stops pumping blood, all life ceases. If something blocks the flow of blood to the heart muscle, parts of the heart muscle die, and if enough heart tissue dies, life ceases. This is a myocardial infarction, or in plain language, a heart attack. Today, cardiologists do everything to intervene prior to MIs. The testing is so much more advanced than 25 to 50 years ago, and many silent blockages are being found and dealt with before they become life-threatening. However, it's your heart, and therefore, being proactive about your health can only help diminish severity. This is an image of the coronary artery system that feeds the heart muscle itself. The roots of salvia look almost identical to the coronary arteries, and when a plant takes the appearance of what it supports in human health, this is called the doctrine of signatures. A plant resembles what it supports, and that's what it is. And nature does that for us automatically. All we have to do is pay attention. Herbs have been used since the dawn of man to support the heart and cardiovascular system and to support the digestion and the intestines. Interestingly, many of the herbs that support the heart also support the small intestine. Taking a little time during the summer months to unburden your small intestine and heart combats some of the summertime foods, hot dogs, hamburgers, pasta, salads. And in addition to the summertime imbibing, which is fun, but not so great for your heart. The summer cleanse is just 3 days, but once you've done it once, you can repeat it several times throughout the summer until the second week of September, if you so wish. Technically, you can perform the cleanse with or without the herbal support. It's entirely up to you. But whatever the details, focusing on the heart and small intestine during the summer months can help you feel lighter and more clear-minded. So if you have any other questions or growing concerns, please reach out to us in the message part of the app. We'll do our best to assist you and answer your questions. The next class will walk you through the science and tradition of the herbs, which will enhance your summer cleanse. You can click on that now or when you have another 15 minutes to spare. Okay, see you soon. Take good care.